All right, I'm doing it. So YouTube removed the last video that my husband and I put up. I just woke up. Good morning. I don't care. I don't care. Don't care. So people, since the pandemic have started, have been treating me like trash. Stay home if you're so scared. I have Ehlers-Danlos and mast cell activation. And the last time I got sick, I coughed for 6 weeks and had a miscarriage. And then I had to go back and have surgery and a DNC. So F off. That was a normal cough for me. So they're telling me, stay home if you're so scared. They're telling me that, and then they're coming to my front door knocking on it with no mask because, you know, their freedom. But it's my property, so that's a little hypocritical. Thankfully, I'm in therapy now, and she told me to put a nice little table with a nice little note and some treats and some masks, and then I have a camera, so I've dealt with that, okay? But now, here's the part that really upsets me that I have to get out, is for years before COVID, I have tried to stay away from recently vaccinated people. Because I knew, even before I knew I had Ehlers-Danlos, I knew that they made me sick. No offense to anyone if this person sees this, but 5 or 6 years ago, someone I knew got a shingles vaccine. I went to visit them 6 weeks later, and then I had freaking shingles on my face for 6 months. Then I went to visit my elderly father, and then he had shingles on his face. Then it spread to his body. Then he eventually got steroids because it wouldn't go away. Then eventually he had a stroke because of those steroids. Then it weakened him. This thing never went away. The skin problem never, ever, ever went away. It went away for me because I finally went to a tanning bed and nuked my face. It was called dermatitis eczematum or whatever. And they used to tell people like me with immune problems and chronic allergies, don't go near recently vaccinated people. They used to say that. Well, guess what? I've been careful from COVID for a fucking year. And before COVID, I quit my job teaching piano because the children would come in, the children would get me sick, and they would play on the piano. And that's not their fault, but they would definitely come in while they were sick. And right before I even quit, there was a big respiratory virus that was putting children in the hospital. And that's the one where I had one of my last miscarriages, which is suffering and pain and mental issues and loss and trauma. And so now what's happening? Well, now I'm going to enter a world that's already the world I entered in before. The world where I didn't let my kids go to school because they were going to get sick from the recently vaccinated kids. And I was in a world where people didn't believe that that was true. They said, no, recently vaccinated don't shed. Then there was a big mainstream news article, recently vaccinated shed disease. So what you're doing is you're creating a world where everyone is vaccinated. Great. So what they're doing is those people have antibodies, okay? That's great. There is not proof that the vaccine causes them to shed viral DNA, although they don't look for the proof intentionally. It's on the inserts, and don't put your crappy little insert comment. I don't GAF what you think if you're going to say, make fun of me for reading an insert. Don't care. My IQ is too high. I'm too educated for that. Get off this page. But what is happening now? What is happening now? Now is with coronavirus. See, here's my problem. I do think that it could kill me. I don't want it. Well, now they want by the end of June, Dr. Fauci has just come out and confirmed what I've been saying. So no, he's not saying that exactly the vaccine itself causes you to shed RNA or DNA in your nose from that vaccine. But previous inserts have said it is not known. Other studies have shown that they do have the live virus. They don't determine where that virus comes from, but it's there and they can shed it. What Dr. Fauci just said is that what he believes, or what he was, the hypothetical situation that he laughed at when I am the subject of the laugh, me and all the chronically ill, me and all the disabled, me and all the people that can't get vaccinated. I'm going to give you the hypothetical of what Dr. Fauci laughed about, and then I would like you to remember that I am the person being laughed at. And I've been here for a year and I have put no one at risk. And I have tipped my delivery people, and I have been kind, and I have put no one at risk, and I have been made fun of. I have been cruelly laughed at. I go to the drive-thru, they don't wear a mask, so I get a better mask, and then they laugh at me. So here's Fauci's hypothetical. Well, I just got vaccinated. Well, can I go around into the world now and do what I want? That's a reasonable question. I would like to go into the world and do what I want, but no one is doing that. No one cares about that. I can stay home because I'm one of the 50% of the United States population with a chronic illness, or who's elderly, or who has an at-risk, co-issue, right? Okay, so, well, if grandma gets vaccinated, he said, ideally, you're going to have the two vaccinated people hang out. See, this is where it turns into, I'm not allowed to go anywhere for the rest of my life. He goes, ideally, and I'm not saying that he's saying that, I'm saying this is the outlook of the vaccinated population toward people like me. See, they'll claim that it's to protect me, but then it comes into, no, but once I've had my shot, screw you. And I've said, and you could check my old Twitters and shit, but what I said was, if you're recently vaccinated, you need to be practicing universal precautions, because I had a life. I was a teacher. I was once a bartender too when we were transitioning out of the Army, and a girl came in, passed her head out down on the bar with her parents because it was like a family daytime thing. And I'm like, is she okay? And they're like, oh, she's fine. She just got her flu shot. Here, refill her cider. Refill her cider. The whole bar came down with some crazy stuff. The whole bar got sick. I think COVID, I'm not even going to talk about how I think COVID relates to that. But the little girl who had just gotten her flu shot, who was sick, got our entire bar sick. That was another time I got a cough and was sick for 4 months. I was coughing for 4 months. I had contact with one sick person who had just gotten a flu shot. So how do you think I feel about people who have just gotten a COVID vaccine? Huh? So here's the hypothetical that Fauci puts up. Well, Grandma, if you guys form a bubble of immune people, then you can all hang out, you can take off your mask, you can eat, and you can enjoy your life. Okay, yes, that's how vaccinated people felt before. But where did I fit in before, and where do I fit in now? He goes, and then the newscaster says, but what if, the grandkid isn't vaccinated? And he said, well, what will happen is Grandma could have some virus in her nose, and then that would not be good. And the newscaster said, just to be clear, is that the grandma is at risk because the grandma had the vaccine and the kid might bring her some and she might get sick but just not as sick? Or is the kid at risk because of the virus in her nose? And he said, oh no, ha 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 ha, the unvaccinated, ha 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 ha. And so you're thinking, if you're the common American sociopath, which I think basically 90% of America is at this point, you're laughing because you're saying, just get the vaccine, you dumb. Okay, well, I've had reactions to vaccine my entire life. I got tetanus when I was 11, and I busted out with more eczema across my entire eyelid and then got walking pneumonia. Okay? I cannot do it. I have a collagen mutation. It's a genetic disorder. My collagen is mutated. If I walk outside, I have little holes in my skin and little microscopic holes through all my mucous membranes of my body and every tissue in my body because my collagen is Swiss cheese. So any molecule that gets into my blood, which is pretty fucking easy because I have mutated collagen, causes an allergic reaction. So here's the thing. I'm not mad at you. I just want you to just for 5 seconds put yourself in my fucking shoes. Everyone's vaccinated now. No one is caring that this thing is endemic in our environment. That's fine, because that's the life I lived with before. I lived with endemic viral illnesses that I thought could kill me. And I lived with the idea that the common person getting the flu shot could make me very ill, because it's happened to me before. Oh, I also got sick from my dog's vaccine. Yeah, my dog got a Bordetella vaccine. It is not the same as pertussis, which is the bacteria that infects humans, but it is the same genus, not the same species. It's Bordetella pertussis caninus instead of Bordetella pertussis something else. But it can infect humans, and guess who it does infect? Me. I can't even get my dog vaccinated because my immune system is that retarded. Slow. It's a slow immune system. It works, but what it does is it attacks the wrong stuff and hurts me. It attacks the wrong stuff and hurts me. So when I actually get a virus, my body does not fight off the virus as quickly. It is a retarded, slow process. So I get more sick. So how am I supposed to live my life now? You just want me to continue to stay in my house if I'm so scared? Should I just stay in my house? Because now I'm going to have family people getting vaccinated, and just like they got me sick with the shingles shot, and just like my dog got me sick with the Bordetella shot, and just like the sick girl got me sick with the flu shot, just like all of that, now it's COVID. And maybe the vaccine isn't making them actually shed the RNA that's being injected into them, but it allows them to walk around and be carriers. That's what he's saying. He's admitting that they can walk around and be carriers and asymptomatic carriers. So what he's literally saying is vaccines work like this. We just give everyone the disease, and then everyone's immune, and then anyone else can go F themselves and stay home if they're so scared. Like, that's what I'm hearing. So what I'm hearing is not hope. What I'm hearing is not hope. Now, well, here's the thing that I think, let me just go through my logical higher self, right? Not my panicking, blaming self. Theoretically, okay, I'm hanging in there. I'm hoping that it gives people antibodies, because even if they could have something in their nose that they picked up from supposedly elsewhere, that's his point, right? They picked it up elsewhere. They just don't get sick because of the vaccine, but they can still carry it. Well, eventually, hopefully there will be less of it going around, because these antibodies are going to have people fight it off, which I'd like to point out that you still need a functioning immune system for antibodies to work. And if anyone knows that, it's me. And if you don't have a functioning immune system and you have antibodies, it'll make your life a living hell. Trust me, that's me. And if you think that COVID won't kill you and you'll, quote, survive, and you want to become one of the people like me, then that is out of complete ignorance. I don't want anyone else to have to become like me, which is chronically ill. So if I were you, I would avoid COVID. I am not going to tell you my thoughts on the shot. I think you know my shots on the shot, and that last video was taken down because I told you what reverse transcriptase is, which I will not tell you. It would be nice if I could see some kind of empathy from people who don't have a chronic illness that think about it for a minute and they're like, no, wait a minute. So if I couldn't get the vaccine, but I did actually think the virus would kill me, how would I have behaved this last year? Or how would I have, here's an even better question, how would I have wished others would have treated me? How would I have wished others would have treated me? How would I feel knowing that I'm going into a world where 97% of the population is going to be recently vaccinated to COVID? So here's me, back to me now, and what I'm thinking, not what I wish that you would consider thinking. I'm not telling anyone to not get their vaccine. We all have our risks, and we have to make our choices and whatever. But once that happens, it's not over for me. It's not over for the chronically ill. We are still waiting at home like all of you suggested. We are still sitting at home waiting. All of us. Or, even worse, some of us have to go to work. So when you don't wear your mask, you are a murderer. I don't like you. If one of us, one of my people, one of my chronically ill, I don't mean just Ehlers-Danlos, I don't care what chronic illness, one of my people has to go to work to eat food, and your bitch ass is threatening their life, you are dead to me. You do not exist. You are a walking zombie that Yeshua the Messiah spoke of. You